Greetings, beloved brothers and sisters. At any particular moment in communication between two people, there are at least two things going on. What I'd like to draw your attention to is the distinction between context and content. It's understandable that people would want to be with other people with similar beliefs, similar ideas, similar values, and that would make them comfortable. And in that sense, the content of their speaking might be quite similar. But there's another level of communication that's always happening, and that is the level of context. And that's the most important level. What you'll find is it doesn't really matter what you say if the context is not loving. Content will seem very important to you, but less so when you're in touch. If you tune into context, you'll always know where you're coming from. If you tune into content, this is where things go awry. You may think that this person agrees with you, and you may feel close to them if you believe they do. But it's quite possible that something you say will upset them, or will something they'll disagree with, which might upset you. And the context of love at that moment feels broken. What I want you to see is that if you come from love, if the context of your being is loving and accepting of everything you see, it really won't matter what the content is. It won't matter that they are of a different political spectrum from you. It won't matter whether they're in a different socioeconomic class. It won't matter what party they're in. It won't matter what gender they are. Coming from the context of love, everyone is included. Everyone is accepted. And differences are interesting, but not particularly distressing or concerning. It is possible to connect in the context of love with people who, on the surface, are very unlike you. And it's a wonderful feeling to know that you can connect with everyone. There's a beautiful song that was made popular by Louis Armstrong called "What a Wonderful World." And in the middle of the song, he says, I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. That is the only message with any value, is that I love you. And in doing so, I love myself. And I love you with all of your idiosyncrasies and eccentricities and ways that on the surface may appear different from me. I love you anyway. I love you because of these differences. I love the diversity that we are, bound together in unity. I love you. from that context, anything is possible. Everything is possible. Everything goes smoothly. Every situation is workable from the context of love. The content is kind of interchangeable. Usually when people argue, the content might be about this or about that, but the context is almost always the same. It's a struggle between egos. It's trying to be right. It's a context of contention, acrimony, domination, avoiding domination. That context will never bring you what you want, even if you convince the person that you're right. The only context that's worth anything is the one of love, is the context of peace and understanding, is the context of God. You live there. You are there. And you have a choice whether to be conscious of that or not. And when you are conscious of it, everything else that seems important melts away. And the only connection you have is with love. And that includes everyone and everything you see. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. It's a gift, it's a blessing, and so are you. Pay attention to the context in all your relationships. That's the thing you can shift. You may not make headway in the content area, but you can shift into love anytime you want. Come home to love. It is the context of God. I love you, and I'll speak with you again soon.